one of my first questions was like, when starting or trying to transition to UX design, what routes have you noticed like work best? Like I said, I've done the Google certificate, and I think it's really good as far as teaching me how to break into the field and understand the, you know, the I guess the lingo of UX design. But as far as teaching me how to design or how to advance my like visual of looking at it, it's like I haven't that didn't really have much learning curve on that way on that side of it. It just kind of gave you here's Figma, here's Adobe XD,
Mhm.
and you just kind of learn on your own. So
For sure.
yeah,
So as far as like so you were saying the visual in terms of like the kind of like the aesthetics and like the UI.
yeah, how to like train my eye to be, to I guess look at this design and be like, oh, this is really good. Versus, when you're first starting off, especially in Figma, when I started learning it, it was like you got squares, you got circles, you got lines, and you can import pictures. But how can I create something like amazing from just this? Because like the Google certificate wouldn't teach you the different tips and tricks that you learned throughout the years of using Figma. It was
Mhm.
just kind of like, here's Figma, make this and submit it. So
Right.
it's kind of
Right.
like, what routes would you kind of feel
Yeah.
were better?
So I think this is a great question. This is definitely a common struggle was for myself and I think many other newer designers out there. Because yeah, a lot of these programs they teach you how to like think like a UX designer and maybe like give you some basics of those tools. But I think that kind of like developing that eye for design, having the good visual and UI design is what's going to take like the most amount of effort. After finishing one of those certificate programs or a boot camp or something like that.
Yeah.
So, in terms of like how to develop that, I would say doing at least one thing every day to kind of advance your skills in this is a really good way to go here. So that could be um, like enrolling in a course that's specific to UI or visual design, or even like learning some of those more in-depth Figma skills also.
Yeah.
Um, I think spending a lot of time just looking at really good designs, and maybe even like trying to copy them yourself is a good way to develop that also. So spending a lot of time on like Dribble, looking at some of the most popular designs on there, and really trying to like analyze exactly why this is a good design. Um, that should do a lot. Um, and then just practicing like every day. That like doing something like the daily UI challenge is a
Mhm.
great way to go there, where you are either like copying a new someone else's design or designing from scratch, um, and maybe trying to like post it somewhere for feedback, maybe on Reddit. Maybe you send it to me, something like that.
Okay.
Uh, all of these would be like great habits to get into, to kind of like develop those UI visual skills, training your eye beyond just like the more like UX thinking that,
Yeah.
that you've probably like learned in the Google certificate.
Yeah. Because I have a lot of that. I learned
Mhm.
UX learning, but the actual UI, it's a little on the shorter end of the stick, but that's what I'm trying
Mhm.
to go. And then speaking of, you were saying like I guess, daily UI. Can you go more in depth with that? Like, I've heard someone else say something like a daily UI, like just it's like a worksheet or not really worksheet, but just some type of work that you're doing every day. Is it like a website you go to where you can see these daily challenges, or is something you just kind of create on your own? Like, okay, I'm gonna do this every day.
Mhm. Yeah, so it could be either. It could be like coming up with design prompts on your own,
Hmm.
and like I'm gonna design like I don't know, an interface for like a sports app or something like that. And you're just taking like one screen and um, just kind of like doing your best with like the prompt that you've given yourself.
Hmm.
Or there is a site called, I think it's dailyui.com. You can just search it on Google, like Daily UI Challenge should be the first thing that comes up. And it will email you a prompt every day to work on. So Like one of the first ones is designing a login page, for example. And then you design your page, and then you can go on Dribble, and you can type in whatever day that you're on, and you can see what other designers did for that specific prompt also. So type in like, I don't know, UI day 14, and you're going to see all of the other designs on there, and you'll be able to, I guess, see like which ones have gotten a lot of likes on there, or maybe what you think are some really great designs, and be able to learn from those and try to dissect like what's this person doing well, maybe like what could I have done better in this design based on like what I'm seeing other people do.